Let's watch Ben Shapiro react to Hail Hitler. He destroys Kanye's pro-Hitler song.
I'm so glad that our pop culture has moved in this wonderful, wonderful direction. Exciting stuff. Kanye West has a new music video, and I feel that we should probably comment on it. So, Kanye West, as we all know, has mental issues. I'm not saying this because of his politics. I've been saying that Kanye West has mental issues for years and years and years and years and years. There's nothing new here. Years and years ago, when Kanye West was making inroads with the first Trump administration, I tweeted famously,
is this sped up? Dude, that's the thing with how Ben Shapiro talks. No, this is normal speed, bro. This is like 1.5 times like a normal person speaking, man.
live by the Kanye, die by the Kanye. Because he's nuts.
I could not speed up Ben Shapiro, bro. The one person, there's no need, dude. It would be... Wait, let's do it for a second. Let's see how that shit sounds. Oh my God. Wait.
And Kanye's mental issues continue to contribute, I assume, to his bizarre fixation with the Jews. So he now has a new song titled Heil Hitler. So just in case you were still pretending that Kanye West doesn't hate Jews, I'm pretty sure he hates the Jews. I mean, two things can be true at once. One, mental illness. Two, hates the Jews. Both can be true. And in fact, in Kanye West, are true. So he's now cut an entire music video. Again, this is all about transgressiveness. It's all about transgressivism. That's all it is. And so many of the people who are parroting the Heil Hitler Kanye West song are doing so because they think it's fun to be transgressive and all rules must be broken because if you're standing up to the narrative, you're doing something brave and amazing. Or maybe you're just being a piece of... That's also possible. It turns out that some rules exist for a reason. And like being against Hitler seems to be a... I don't know. Call me controversial. Call me crazy. Hitler seems bad. I don't know. I feel like...
Yeah, okay. Here's the conversation to me. This is why I think of this conversation. All right. Hitler's the one person who's demonized above all else, and he's not necessarily the most evil, dude. He's on the same level as Mao, even like Genghis Khan. These were all people that did like what, you know, you'd think we'd classify as terrible shit. You know, Stalin, another person. Hitler doesn't have as high of a kill count as like Mao. And yet, like, Hitler is seen as the worst person ever. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it is propaganda against Hitler. Now, Hitler did a lot of terrible shit. Hitler was not a good guy, okay? But Hitler was for sure not a good guy. But he's not worse than these other terrible dictators. And we don't hold them at the same level of evil as Hitler. And there's a reason for it. It's okay to, like, have that conversation. But the reason somebody like Ben Shapiro doesn't want this conversation being had at all and wants to just silence anybody talking about this stuff at all or joking about like the Jews or whatever is because Israel has a lot of pull in American politics. And it seems like that's changing. I'm not sure if it's for real or not. It seems like Trump's kind of separating ties with Netanyahu. Things are changing. He's gonna recognize Palestine as a sovereign nation, which isn't good for them. So things might be changing, you know. We might be cutting ties to some degree with Israel as our biggest ally when they don't really do anything for us. The only arguments I've heard of what they do for us is like intelligence, which they blew up a ship of ours for no reason. And they won't even give us technology for their Iron Dome so we can have a similar sort of thing here. I don't know why they wouldn't. They're our greatest ally. We give them billions and billions of dollars. Really, what I hope happens is we actually can have like an open conversation. The conversation isn't Jews are bad. That's a dumb conversation. It's how are these foreign actors controlling our politics? That's if it was the Chinese who infiltrated our politics, people would for sure be like, okay, this is bad. Like we need to do something about this. But for some reason, since it's the Jews, you can't even ask the question like, is Israel, you know, to some degree controlling our politics? The conversation isn't Jews are bad, kill all Jews. It's not that, dude, at all. Like, Jews are people, okay? There's some good people, there's some bad people. Same with Jews. There's some good Jews, there's some bad Jews. And Ben Shapiro's a bad Jew.
Like, Hitler was not a good person, and I feel like the things he did were bad. If that makes me controversial, if it makes me a censor of some sort, I guess, you know.
Okay, true. Yes, I agree with that statement.
Sure. All right, fine. Now, again, I've not called for Kanye West to be deplatformed from anything. I'm just pointing out that many of the people who are very enthusiastic about Kanye West making common cause with people on the right are utterly silent when it comes to his absolutely open shift into Nazism. Many of the people who call him friends and acquaintances and people, like, where are they? they have anything to say about this or no? It's still about the Jews. Pretty amazing stuff. So here is Kanye West's song, Heil Hitler.
See my Twitter, but they don't see how I be feeling. So I became a Nazi. I'm the villain.
Right.
Why do they censor the N-word?
Don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
Guys, genuine question though. Am I ginger enough to say the N-word? You can't really tell. But I'm kind of ginger, you know? Like not like a ginger, but can I say the N-word? Am I ginger enough?
So the actual line is N-word Heil Hitler. Okay, but it's a hard R with Hitler and it's a no R with the N-word is the way this works. If, by the way, you say the reverse, that means you're a racist and you're banned from polite society. If you say the N-word that ends with an A, but you say Heil Hitler with the hard R, then that means that you're good, transgressive, and interesting to a wide variety of people, apparently, on both right and left. So that's exciting stuff. I'm glad that we've decided to do this as a society. We'll get to more on this in just a moment. First, free online services like Facebook and Google actually charge you by using your URL or a VPN. Your info calls this by hiding your. It gives me peace of mind knowing that my data option covered it. As the clicking and social media attention, of course, has exacerbated VPN.com because transgressive/Ben Shapiro show. And social media, of course, has exacerbated all of this because transgressive behavior gets clicks, it gets attention. That, of course, is why Andrew Tate, one of the most vile people in social media, decided that
The fascinating thing is how Ben Shapiro's tone really changed on Andrew Tate. He was like, you know, he says some good things. I don't really agree with this. I think he's innocent in the Romanian case to like he's the worst person ever after he talked about October 7th. Isn't that funny how things shift like that, you know, so blatantly, bro? Could you be more blatant?
that, you know, he's constantly piggybacking on the social media attention whoredom of others. So here he was jumping in a fancy car in UAE, I believe this is, while playing the Kanye West song, because all the best people are of a piece.
Oh man.
He's smoking a cigar and getting into a fancy car paid for by the people that he is allegedly ripping off with Tate University. So that's exciting for all of you. And he puts on the song and then he starts driving down the street. What a rebel he is. Truly, truly a rebel. This is the kind of... the social media scene has made the world so much better. By the way, if you think this has no bleed over, why are we paying attention to this? Because social media popularity now translates into mainstream breakthrough. We have seen this. We have seen people who were completely anonymous 2 years ago, who because of the bizarre algorithmic boosts provided by X and TikTok have now become kind of internet famous. And then they make a breakthrough into actual famous podcasts, for example. And suddenly they're showing up. And you're like, who is this person? Why is this person here? And the answer is they got a lot of clicks. So clicks can translate into some sort of appeal. And we do live in a time where because the left was so censorious, because the left shut the Overton window so unbelievably tight, that basically, if you didn't agree with Hillary Clinton, you were out there in the wilderness. Because of that, many people on the right, their response was no Overton window at all, meaning all discourse must be treated as equally acceptable and valuable.
I think you should be able to say whatever you want. That's the idea of freedom of speech. And you can. You clearly can, okay? We've kind of proved you can, you know? They've tried to do stuff to silence people, but it doesn't really work. And they've figured that out. So either we need to actually have, like, legitimate good conversations at this point instead of just, like, noise and, like, shock value content and shit like that, which we've really done to, like, a large degree. I think we need to shift more away from that into actual, like, good conversations about everything. Which I don't know if that's going to happen, to be honest. Like, it doesn't seem like it, which kind of sucks, but, you know, what can you do? Or, like, things are going to get censored again, but it's just going to be, like, the opposite extreme, which wouldn't be any better than the left being in control. Like, you're going to have a guy like Ben Shapiro censoring people, you know? And finger wagging. You know, that's what he wants deep down. If he could have that, he would, but you can't really say that right now because we're not to that point yet. Right now, everything's just kind of fucking open. You can basically say whatever at this point without, like, too big of consequences. And so, yeah, he's right in that sense, man. Like, now people just want to go wild, but I think we need to return to, like, a more middle ground, even though that sounds gay, and then have, like, actual conversations and just slowly, like, progress with these conversations socially. But I don't think we can do that, to be honest. I don't think we will. But that's what would be nice. It would be better if that happened.
Which, of course, is stupidity. It's just moral relativism. N-word Heil Hitler is not of the same caliber of discussion as, say, should we raise or lower pharmaceutical prices based on government mandate? Like, what is valuable about the answer is there's not a lot of again, doesn't mean it should be banned, doesn't mean it should be censored. It does mean that a rational, decent people would not be spending an awful lot of time with those sorts of folks promoting that sort of trash. But once it starts mainstreaming via social media,
I get what he's saying.
then all the bad ideas of the past get to come back, so that's exciting. According to a brand new poll out of JL Park.
See, I think Ben Shapiro is shifting because Daily Wire is kind of dying, and he's shifting into, like, seeming more reasonable. Ben Shapiro's a fucking smart guy, for sure. You can't deny that, dude. He's good at what he does. He knows what he's doing, but there's been too much negative press on the Daily Wire. They kind of know he's, like, the Jewish overlord, you know, like, just fucking taking all the money, you know, with people like Brett Cooper leaving. And now he's trying to appear more reasonable, which, you know, this is a good take. I overall agree with what he's saying here.
Partners. This is from October of last year, so it's not brand new. According to a poll from October 7th of 2024, people who say Hitler had some good ideas, people who are 18 to 29 years old, 21%. People who are 65 plus, 5%. Why? Well, a few reasons. One, older people are not spending nearly as much time on social media.
Okay, well, Hitler had some good ideas, okay? Like, they were innovative at that time. Nazi Germany did some shit. Now, a lot of the shit was bad, for sure, dude.
Two, older people actually...
But they created the highway system. You have to admit, like, that was useful, okay? The Nazis, they did some shit. They innovated, bro. It doesn't mean that, you know, they were morally superior, but they did some shit, okay?
Do have some wisdom.
Fuck.
They're not as stupid as people who are 18 to 29 years old very often. There is an interesting racial breakdown. Black Americans, over a fifth of them say Hitler had some good ideas. Presumably Kanye is in that category. 19% of Hispanic Americans said the same. Just 9% of white Americans said the same. So, I don't know. Put me on the side of people who say Hitler actually did not have good ideas. His ideas were trash. And
You drive on roads, bro. Do you like roads? Do you like the highway system? That shit's efficient, bro. If you're going from... I don't fucking know. If you want to drive across the country, it's pretty useful, dude. It's pretty useful, man.
And the people who support them today are trash. And the people who invoke them today as some sort of progressive strike against the leftist machine. There are so many ways to oppose leftist
I mean, he's using progressive like that now. That's interesting.
censorship. Valuable ways to oppose leftist censorship. There are so many things that can be said that the left doesn't want you to say that actually have inherent, real value. And then there are mentally ill people warbling into a microphone using autotune. By the way, I hope that whatever Kanye is making off his songs, he's paying a percentage to autotune. Because my goodness, autotune is basically writing his songs for him at this point.
Such a hater.
I'm so glad that our pop culture has moved in this wonderful, wonderful direction. Exciting stuff. The news moves fast. Bad news moves fastest of all.
Okay. He didn't really say a whole lot, honestly. Spoiler alert, Ben Shapiro did not enjoy Hail Hitler by Kanye West. Who would have thought? Dude, the fucking comments are crazy. The world's changed, bro. This is... I could not imagine, you know, how things have changed. It's crazy. This song got censored faster than Mossad's involvement at 9/11. Dude, this is on a Ben Shapiro video. I'm pretty sure nobody came for Ben's opinion, but rather for the comments. The song was banned in 109 countries. Ben did not understand his tweets on Twitter. Kanye doesn't care about your feelings. Like, this is amazing, dude. The song even got Israel dancing. Israelis dancing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, World War III, wasn't that, like, #1 in Israel? Like, why is that, dude? Isn't that fucking hilarious? Like, people are bumping Hail Hitler in Israel, bro. It's kind of awesome, man. I want to join them. I want to go to Israel and pump Hail Hitler with them. With the youth. Oh, Fucking hell, man. The world's great. Oh, the irony.